Alright guys, so I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm a gameplay guy. I like to make videos on that. Having fun, being dorky and goofy. This isn't going to be a rage video, but we are going to talk about some of the underlying issues that have really boiled to the surface in the community. I want to try and outline how I see it, some of the main issues and some of the ways I think we can fix it. And at the end, I'm going to talk about a way where you can give me your direct feedback and I can go give it directly to the devs and to the community managers. But let's talk where this all started. It did all start with this article right here from Brian Shea. Now, if you read this article, and I do suggest you do because it's a great read, you will see yourself mirrored in this. You'll see a mid to long game player, end game player, who very meticulously goes through what it feels like to be a Marvel Strike Force player right now. And it doesn't feel the greatest. It doesn't. And that's coming from a person who loves this game. At its core, I love the gameplay. I think there's so much that they can do with it. And I'm excited to keep playing this game for a long time. But there's issues that sometimes make me doubt that. And I'm sure you guys have seen it. The other content creators, they're also touching on this. You know, everyone from Valley Flying, who's super positive, Reminex, who likes to see both sides of the aisle, Boylon, who's just a math guy, Heartgrave, who's Heartgrave. Everybody's getting in on it. Some of them, most of them are envoys. And I think it's our responsibility to touch on these things and also to try and touch on possible solutions, gather feedback from you guys, bring that to developers. That's what I'm going to try and do right now. I'm going to try and keep it quick. So events not being free to play friendly, I think it's a fair argument that events should be free to play completable. That is like the milestones. Obviously there's going to be ranked competition like we have for the Echo right now. And the issue is with events, if they're giving too much away in the milestones, they don't want to give it to us for free, shrink that stuff down. Like right now in the Echo events, you get 9 teal pieces for everything, and then there's an E6, and there's 50 shards, a couple gold promos, and then some T4s. Well, if you don't want to give people that for free, cut those numbers down in half. Do whatever you need to do and make the event completable free to play. Because events should be for the players, not for Scopely. Scopely's for offers. And I'm actually going to make a mock offer where you should make your money in association with events. Because if you don't want to give us an E6, put an E6 in an offer, slap a reduced price tag on it if you want, give a shout out to the event. People who spend a lot of money are going to buy it. That's where you make your money and avoid all the outrage. All of it. It's all avoidable. This brings us to point number 2, character release shards. I kind of understand where they're coming from here. I know that's going to come off poorly, but the stat increases they've given to characters since Silver Surfer has really kind of pushed them crazy beyond everybody else. So maybe they don't want to give 4 Yellow Star on all the new characters because a 4 Yellow Star is the equivalent of what a 6 Yellow Star was on older characters, so they're kind of trying to dial that back. That feels bad, especially when you take in consideration something like the Red Star Orb Blitz on Sunday. I can't even use a new character. It just feels bad. So we talk about like Echo, who's pretty much 100 stars. Let's be real. Not everyone's going to get that 150. The vast majority are getting 100. You talk about Scarlet Spider, which was 123 for people who can complete Pocket Dimension. Magic was 150. Shang-Chi was 180. And that's where it should stop. It should stop at 184 Yellow Star for people who go hard on character releases. I'm not saying you need to give it for free, but I am saying it needs to be possible. You know, we used to get these Blitz events where you would Blitz, and you'd get a certain amount of frags that would drop, and then you can open an RNG orb, and maybe you'd get it, maybe you wouldn't, but you could go so sweaty, nerdy, try hard, like I would on all those events, and you could at least feel like the event was fun, the character release method was fair-ish, depending if you got terrible RNG or great RNG, but it was possible. Now, being restricted to 100 shards free to play feels terrible, even if it is a release, even if it unlocks the character, rather. So I think that needs to be addressed. They should look at that. If they need to squish character stats a little bit more so that the yellow stars aren't out of control, do that, but it just feels bad, especially if players aren't going to be unlocking. Next issue is forced investment. You talk about characters like Winter Soldier, or these new Guardians, even Invisible Woman and Kitty Pryde. Not a lot of people want to bring up to Gear Tier 15. We like agency in our account. That's the whole reason you released the Chaos Theory, so that we'd have agency in where we get our red stars. Well, you're taking agency away by making us invest in these certain characters. Now, The easiest way to fix this is to let us know where these characters will be useful. If Rocket and Star-Lord are not going to be getting some kind of rework when that movie comes out, whenever it comes out, tell us. Or if they are beginning a rework, give us a little, nudge nudge, wink wink, hey, these characters have a movie coming out, so they might get some love. Then it wouldn't feel so bad. The forced investment, though it is still forced, and we all know what you're doing, you're going to release a tech team soon, so you're trying to get some tech gear out of us, we would understand that it's not a lost cost. And also, when you're going to make us invest in things, please tell us the rewards ahead of time. More on that in a little bit. But that will actually also bring us to bottlenecks. If we're going to be investing in Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon up to gear tier 15, please, for the love of God, release some of the bottlenecks. If you want us to bring up these characters to level 80, that's a lot of gold, a lot of training modules, and then I won't be able to level the new characters. If I can't level the Dark Hunters, why would I buy them? This helps both of us. I'm not saying you need to give us enough of this stuff for free to max them out. What I am saying is that the vast majority of players are not going to be buying resources and character shards to keep up and have fun with these shiny new toys you're releasing. There's a balance. You'll get money for the shards if you give me enough other resources to actually be able to play with them. And that brings me to gear. Orange gear in particular is such a bottleneck because there's so many different variations of it, and it should have let up in more places than it has. Now, they released those Origin challenges, which was a great start. But the catalysts are everyone's issue right now. Look, you have gear tier 14, gear tier 15 being a bottleneck in and of itself that we have to farm daily if we want any hope of bringing up characters. I could almost accept that as being okay if I didn't have to farm SBCs every single day. They cost 400 per piece from gear tier 14 to 15, and I'm getting like 60 a day farming every single node. Little bit of a backstory. When I started the game, purple gear was the issue. Dark Dimension 2 happened, purple gear was still an issue. Dark Dimension 3 came out and released a new bottleneck, the gear tier 14 minis. They released a blitzed orb for purple gear that had traits and it had catalysts. You got to choose what you wanted. Agency, good thing. Then they had offers. For me, it was $6.99. I think for the States, it was $5. Where you would get a calendar that would give you 30 of these orbs. I bought that up every single time. Okay. And then obviously we got some for free and the milestones and everything. And that was very, very good. They need to do that with orange gear. You need to release a blitz equivalent orange gear orbs for traits and for catalysts to help ease the pain of the gear crunch at least. That's not going to answer the gold or the training modules. I understand that they've been increasing that a little bit. Not enough to keep up with all their new teams, but they also want you to choose, right? They don't want you to bring up Uncanny, Web Warriors, and Ravagers all in one patch to level 85. They want you to have to choose. Fine. Maybe let up a little bit, please, because it's a little bit much, and we want to play with the things that you're putting in the game. But I digress. Let's start with orange gear. I think that's a fair statement. And finally, we have miscommunication. I think it goes without saying, we've had a couple issues this week surrounding this event, and just in general. So, the Nowhere Heist was announced on Friday, I believe, and we didn't get the rewards until yesterday, which was Tuesday. I know that was done on purpose so people would start investing in a Starlight and Rocket not knowing what the rewards were. That, though not misinformation, is no information, and that feels bad. Those people that dropped maybe 10 million or 3,000 SBCs, whatever it took them to bring their Starlight and Rocket up to gear tier 15, there's a couple of them that are going to feel so bad they quit. I know one already who did and reached out to me, and it was a bummer because I really enjoyed this person's company on Discord. That's something that we should avoid. If you told us the rewards out the gate, a lot of people would see that, hey, there's an E7 for the first time rewards. I want that for the Dark Hunters. I want to try and roll that on Morbius. Fair enough. We see the recurring rewards and we're not so hot on that. Other people can make a different decision. Fair enough. And then if you were to tell us that Star-Lord and Rocket are going to be useful down the road, then that's going to sway a bunch of people to change their tune as well. Communication would work a lot in both are benefits, Scopely and the players, if done right. I know that they need to keep some things in the dark. It's part of the business model. I don't like it, but it is what it is. I get that. But then you see they try and do good things as well, and they don't communicate that either. Chaos Theory every single weekend for the month of February. That's so cool. That's great. Own that. Put that up. And then we have legendary events popping out of nowhere. I think that was in response to people's issue with there being 2 legendaries needed for the heist event, and players not having the heads up like, hey, you need these 2 characters for this event. So they just threw them out there. I get that as a reactionary thing. I almost applaud it, even though it's so short notice. People obviously didn't have time to farm those characters up. But what you could have done is you could have went to your various platforms, thrown it up on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, get your envoys to shoot it out into all the Discords on their Twitch and on their YouTube, and just be like, hey guys, Scopely has heard the concerns that Doc Ock and Invisible Woman aren't available to people for this event that we gave you 1 week's notice for. Obviously, you're going to leave some of my passive-aggressive stuff out. So we're putting them out right now. We hope this helps relieve the pain for some people. Obviously, you want to relieve the pain. You guys get what I'm trying to say. That kind of communication would probably be welcomed with warm arms, instead of people being mad like, why are these legendaries popping up with no notice? Be like, okay, well, they told us why it's popping up. They're trying to at least give us something. That'd go a super long way. Anyway, there's obviously other issues. Bugs come to mind. The Shuri bug, Fortifier bug, hasn't been fixed. I have no idea how to approach that issue or that topic. That's obviously above my head. I'm a truck driver, not a coder. But hopefully you guys can fix that kind of stuff soon too, because that's another underlying issue that kind of just gets built on and built on by the 5 things I have listed here. Anyway, guys, end of angry video, if that was angry. I'm losing my voice. That's how angry I got. Alright guys, and that brings me to the last part of the video, something that I think I can actually do to help you guys make sure your voices are being heard. I'm going to be opening up a channel in my Discord called Dorky Tell the Devs. In this channel, just air any of your grievances, issues, concerns, bugs, anything you found along the way that you want to make sure gets passed directly to them. If you put that in this channel right here, I'll make sure it gets to them using the Envoy connections that I've been granted by them. I think that's why they gave it to me, and I want to make sure I'm doing my part to make the game a better place. Because at the end of the day, I think we all love the game. We all love the Marvel IP for sure, and we want to see it succeed. So come join the Discord. It'll be in the comment section below, and then let me know in that channel if you want anything passed on. So yeah, that video happened. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Let me know on the Discord, guys. I just want to help out as much as I can, especially I feel a new responsibility with this Envoy honor, I guess, that I've been given. So yeah, stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll check you guys later. Peace.